So let's record.
Okay.
But you also will keep that piece of
Well, I
paper
have the note. Yeah.
with me on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we covered the 12 areas
hmm
of life. Some people say, well, I don't really have this many. Some people say, oh, I have another area somewhere. But
hmm
generally speaking, these are relatively universal and give you an ability to kind of assess yourself, your level of satisfaction with different aspects. It also gives me an ability to see where your strengths and where your weaknesses are.
hmm
But now we are going to look at something uh, that is in the realm of imagination or dreaming. We're talking
hmm
about daydreaming, obviously.
hmm
If we meet in a year from now, let's say in the beginning of November 2026, and I ask you to share with me how things are going, how things are different compared to the year prior. What would you like to be able to tell me that would describe, and maybe you can paint a picture with words, how your life is at the end of 2026?
Improved or gone bad?
Well, any changes that you would like to.
Okay. So I would say, obviously I'm looking at the positive. Um, that I've maintained my, physical fitness and health and engaged in hobbies, that I've increased my relationship with my family.
Mm,
Um, that I continue to work on myself in personal development, and my level of spirituality has increased, you know, 50%. So I feel that I'm closer aligned with spiritual principles and my values, and some of my values have changed
mhm.
for the better. Um, that I have, you know, tested intimate relationships and have made kind of decisions on where I want to go with them. My mental well-being remains positive, and career, that I've been able to move towards reaching what I believe is my potential, that I've increased in a very big way. And I'm not necessarily talking about dollars and money wise. In one breath, I want to say, I don't care about money and fine. Obviously, I do care because I have to pay for things.
Right.
Um, but I'm not obsessed with making money and hoarding money away just in case. I try not to fall in that, well, what if something happens and you need it? Okay, if that happens, then I got to hoard all this money to sit in a bank account somewhere and probably never spend it.
Yeah.
And what was the point of what all that I've wasted to build it? So yeah, that's where I am. And sports wise, I would like to just remain physically active. And that as I get older, maybe my sports change, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't run marathons anymore. Well, I don't want to run marathons anymore, but I could engage in some kind of physical challenges, maybe a walking thing or a hiking thing, or whatever, that I'm just engaged physically with sports, and my physical health is good.
Well, I can certainly provide a lot of interesting approaches to physical movement and development because that's one of the areas of my expertise.
hmm
How about uh, looking at the specific areas and assessing them on the scale from 1 to 100 again. So if you look at physical health a year from now, where do you presume you would be on that scale from 1 to 100?
Um, on the scale, we started at 88.
Correct.
Um, I mean, I would like to be anywhere between 85 and 90. You know,
About the same.
yeah, about the same. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't. I mean, yeah, that I would probably 85 to 95. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know that 100% is a goal of mine. Yeah.
And it's really hard to be 100% satisfied.
Hmm.
Plus, that also means that there is no room for improvement.
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Well, it seems like the number between 85 and 95 is very specific. It's called 90. And
Hmm.
so then you would just make an incremental but important improvement of 2% points. I would put a notch on that spoke of the wheel that goes from the center of the circle to number one on the clock dial, just a 2% points closer
Hmm.
to the edge of it. Let's
Hmm.
take a look at mental well-being. Where would you
Um,
imagine yourself being in that respect?
ment I would do the same thing with the mental well-being. 85. No, mental well-being,
Mhm.
I would like to be 95. That
Great.
I don't want to go anywhere lower. I don't want to stay where I'm at. And I put 85,
Yes.
and I'm going to give myself really a 78 because I think I'm more to 78, and I'd like to get up to 90.
Okay, that's fair. Let's take a look at the career. You said that you would like to make some strides.
Career wise, I'd like to get to a 90. So I was at 67.
Yeah,
I'd like to get to a 90.
fantastic. And how would you know that you got to 90?
I would be honest with myself
Mhm.
and say, listen, I am really, I have I'm done what I said I'm going to do. And I put the effort into the work and I haven't half done it. It's just like you've gone to the gym and they tell you to do 20 push-ups. Well, you can get away with doing 18 and nobody would know, except me. But I would know that I've done my 20 push-ups in this area. And so, yeah.
Okay. So would there be any breakthroughs, accomplishments, or changes that would happen career-wise between now and a year from now?
Well, I'm starting to do a podcast
Oh,
and I think I'm going to learn more about presentation, interviewing,
mhm.
listening,
Yeah.
um, and engaging people. And so I think the podcast is one of those things. It's almost like I would have loved to be an actor, but I
Mhm.
can't act. I'd love to be a singer, but I can't sing. But I can talk and I can engage people. I have a great voice, and I haven't been able to utilize those things on a bigger scale. And
Yes,
I think the podcast offers me an opportunity to do that.
you're absolutely right. I've been
Hmm.
podcasting since 2009.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I know a thing or two about podcasting. If you have any questions about it, feel
Hmm.
free to ask me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think Joe Rogan started his podcast the same year as I did.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He has a lot more listeners, but my
Hmm.
podcast is about 1 million downloads.
Hmm.
It's a respectable number. Let's take a
Hmm.
look at finances. Where would you like to be in terms of satisfaction with your finances a year from now?
I think I put myself at a 77.
Yeah.
I'd like to be at a 90. And the
Oh,
90 would be so I don't ever have to think about money.
mhm.
I don't want to think that I don't have enough. I, you know what I mean? I just I don't want to worry about money. This time next year,
Mhm.
I have a small mortgage. If I could pay half of my mortgage and half of this car note, I'd feel really secure.
Excellent. All right. So those are ambitious but doable goals.
Hmm.
Let's put the notch at 90, so 1/10 of the way away from the edge of the circle. Let's take a
Hmm.
look at hobbies. Would you like any changes in hobbies?
No, no, I'm good. 85 is great.
85. Perfect.
Yeah.
And how about sports?
Nope, I'm good with sports.
Fantastic. All right. The challenging bits, the personal relationships.
I'd like to go up to 65, 70, 70.
All right. So from 30 to 70, it would be quite an improvement. And
Yeah. Hmm.
I think that that's doable if you put your mind to it.
Hmm.
How would you know that you achieved it?
Well, I would have practiced a few, and some would have worked and some wouldn't have worked. I give myself a year. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, a year would be a reasonable time to be with one person,
Yeah,
but a couple of 4 months or 6 months wouldn't be bad either, just to test the waters.
fair enough.
Mhm.
And how about family? Where would you like to be in that respect?
I'd like to get to 75.
From 50?
I think I was at 45. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how would you know that you've made improvements in your family dynamics?
I will know when my nieces and nephews seek me out.
Mhm. Okay. So they don't seek you out at this point?
No, I seek them out. I call them.
Mhm.
When we talk, it's because I've initiated the conversation.
I see.
Um, my older brother, he was the one that called me while we were online. My mother calls me. So my older brother and my mother initiate with me, but my younger brother and everybody else, I do more of the initiating with.
Okay.
And I said 75. Let's bring that down to 70.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
that's
yeah.
still pretty decent. And I think that if initiating is the only indicator that there is improvement, I can certainly see that possible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at the social life, friendship.
Um, I'd go to 80. I'm at 70 now. I'd go to 80. Just like there's one guy in the group that I've known for a long time, and I like his attitudes around spirituality and that kind of thing. So I'd like to have a few closer friends like that. I have another guy in the group that, you know, I just don't like his view on religion and 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 how he tends to give so much to other people, almost like he's trying to prove that he's a good person.
Yeah.
Um, and it kind of annoys me that he does that. I would like to, kind of work past that. And then just a few other friends. I just like to develop, new friendships with people. And, maybe it's a little strategic too, people who are a little bit younger than me,
Okay.
because they're going to be around in 20 years where people my age might not be, you know?
Fair enough.
Eh, Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. That is, so where did you say you would be at 80?
Um, okay, that's on social, right?
Yeah. So social life and then social contributions follows.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to be social life. I would like to, yeah, get to 80.
Hmm.
Social contributions, I'm fine where it is. I don't want to contribute anymore.
Okay, and personal development.
I want to remain at 90. I want to just keep, looking at myself and working on myself on
Yeah.
that level. I don't want 100% would have me maybe obsessive about it. And so I don't want to get there, but 90 is good.
Right. And
And
spirituality.
I'd like to be 90, but I think my ability or practice could probably get me to 75 or 80 from 65.
Oh, that's nice and realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a much more detailed picture of where you would like to be a year from now than you
Hmm.
probably had in your mind before.
Hmm.
And that's something that most people never bother with, even if they're going through some type of personal development and maybe even receiving coaching, they often don't develop any clarity about where they're going.
Hmm.
Now, with the clarity of where we're going, there is one more question that I will have to ask, and that requires a little bit of an imagination.
Hmm.
Imagine a fly on the wall looking at you a year from now. And this fly doesn't pay attention to the appearances, it only pays attention to your energy. How would this fly describe your energy a year from now that would enable you to manifest what you just described to me, the dream that you would like to achieve?
What would the fly observe?
Yes, what would be the energy that you would need to have in order to manifest what you set out to manifest?
Oh, the energy.
Yeah.
I don't know when you say energy. I know I need to be consistent. I need to perseverance. Um, I don't know that I need motivation. But I don't understand energy.
Ah,
I don't
okay.
understand that word.
Yeah, so everything is energy in this universe, isn't it?
Mhm.
And we don't perceive it as such because our attention is usually focused on the appearances. And the reason why? Because it's a lot easier. It's a lot less exhausting to pay attention to the just appearances
Okay,
and
okay.
surface.
So when I think about energy, the example I can give is I go to this place called the Lift Lounge, and they have a Pilates strength-based machine. It is
Okay.
very difficult. And that's the place that I could get away with doing 18 when they ask me to do 100, when they ask me to do 20.
Mhm.
I always put the energy
Yeah.
into getting it done. I could even quit a little bit early and it still satisfies the instructor. It would probably satisfy my body.
Yeah.
But there's, Michael, you can do a little bit more. So do a little bit more.
Hmm.
So, uh, the fly would see that piece of me for, let's say, 65%,
Hmm.
and 35% they would say he's erratic.
Interesting. So is it a year from now? That's the energy that you're describing right now? Or is it the current one?
What I would want
Uh-huh.
is the full energy, but I know that I can be erratic. I have these mobility sticks. And so I turn on YouTube to do a mobility stick workout.
Hmm.
I get it started, but I don't finish it all the way, or I'll half do it, or I don't spend enough time on each one.
Yeah.
So there's erratic about that. But if I'm on the climber machine, I give it 100%.
Okay.
So there's something about mindless exercise and mind and body exercise. The
Yeah.
mind and body, I can excuse it and say, oh, it's ADHD.
Hmm.
But mindless exercise, I can do that, you know, pretty easily.
Well, and that is what it takes to be a marathoner.
Hmm.
You, you basically just keep going, and
Yeah.
as long as the heart is beating and the lungs are breathing, you're good.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's totally understandable. And one of the things that I'm looking at in terms of energy is like imagining what the fly in a wall would be able to perceive. Well, it might perceive a certain color of energy, like you said, maybe motivation, maybe not motivation, maybe consistency, maybe what was the other one? Greater um, dedication.
Hmm.
So, uh, if there was any color associated with this energy,
It'd be green or blue.
green and blue, excellent.
Mhm.
Blue green, so maybe teal.
Yeah. Hmm.
And if it has any texture or any density or any movement to it, what would it be?
There's a part of me that wants to say leather,
Mm,
but it's a softer leather.
okay. And if there was any area in your body where this fly would be able to detect the highest concentration of this teal color energy, where would it be?
I would say in my heart chest area.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Now, if the same fly could see you at the present time, what would be the difference between the energy that you have now as opposed to the energy that you would need to have in order to manifest what you set out to manifest in a year?
So I had the blue green at the beginning of the year, all the way until June,
Okay.
July, August. But of recent, it has dulled and it's not as it was. My hope is between now and this time next year, I can get to that blue green consistently. And I'm looking to get there. I'm not playing around. I'm not going to give myself 3 months or 6 months to get there. I want to get
Mhm.
there in the next couple of weeks and then just maintain it.
Excellent. Let me ask you about how it came about. You said that in the beginning of the year you had that blue-green energy. Did something happen that you tapped
I,
into?
you know what? I did this manifesting thing
Yeah.
and I was consistent with all of this stuff that I was doing.
Hmm.
And at the end of the result, my book was done. I got this offer to do this podcast. All of the work that I got enough work to sustain my life without being afraid, like, oh shit, I'm going to go broke or I
Mhm.
can't buy this um, toaster oven that I want.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So a lot of good energy happened that I think I did these manifestation exercises and I think they worked. Um, but there's something that's happened to me of recent,
Hmm.
and I got to tell you, I think it's sex and food that have drained my that creative energy.
Hmm. Sex and food. Uh,
Yep.
okay. Well, so let's see how we can get the mojo back.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you mentioned also that it was in the heart. So if you could see yourself from point of view of a fly in a wall, that dulled energy, where would it be located in your body?
The who energy?
That you mentioned that there was energy that was more dull at this
Oh, the
present moment.
dull energy
Yeah.
is probably where in my body would it be?
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna maybe say in my knees
Okay.
or my hips because I don't think my hips and knees are that strong.
Hmm. All right. So knees and hips is where the energy resides now that leaves the room for improvement.
Hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see if we can maybe use another piece of paper. You have a whole
Okay.
notebook. So on the new page, let's draw a line, a horizontal line across the entire page.
Hmm.
And on the left-hand side, on the left end of this line is the present moment, right now.
Is the present okay?
Yes. And the end of this line is a year from now.
Hmm.
And at the end of this line, there is the brighter, more vibrant energy of the teal color.
Hmm.
And at the present moment, there is a duller energy that is
Hmm.
residing in the hips and knees.
Hmm.
Let's take a look at the middle of this timeline, 6 months from now.
Hmm.
I ask you in 6 months, which will be the beginning of May, to describe yourself from point of view of a fly in a wall. What would you like to be able to tell me energetically?
That I have been very consistent
Hmm?
in my spiritual practices.
Yeah.
I have eaten better. I have my sexual engagement has decreased.
Hmm.
I have put more energy and effort into career
Nice.
and mental health and social.
Awesome. Okay. And if the fly could perceive your energy at that point in the beginning of May, what would be the color or texture or density or movement of that energy? How would you describe it?
I would say green.
Nice. And is it
Mhm.
green like bright green or dark green or what was it?
It's a forest hunter green, it's not a bright green, it's not neon green, but like your plants. That
Ah,
kind of that kind of green.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. And the reason why I say green,
Mhm.
I probably would have said blue first, but because blue is darker, it's a little more dense than the green. So the teal is a little more denser than the green, although I my preference would be green.
Okay. So green is great. And how would you know that you are on the right track and moving in the right direction and in 6 more months would be able to manifest what you set out to manifest in a year?
I would know it
Mhm.
because I believe that I'm honest with myself. Um, it would be acknowledged by others, although I'm staying away from needing other people's acknowledgement, that I really want to self-acknowledge and not, hey, what do you think? Do you think I'm doing okay? What do you think? I don't want to be doing that. And so that I would use my self barometer to
Mhm.
determine that.
That's
And
self.
and and I would say, Michael, this is true. I'll talk to myself about it being true
Mhm.
versus looking for somebody else to tell me how good I've done or that kind of thing.
I got it. Okay, so that is the key to self-agency. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. Where would you be, for example, in terms of your podcast development?
I would be, I'm going to call it reasonably successful in that,
Mhm.
on the verge of doing really good, or it has just led me into another direction,
Hmm. Fascinating.
but not in anything negative.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that you would be doing reasonably good, what does it mean? Like you would have launched the podcast by then?
We're going to start filming for it in November 13th. So it's
Okay,
going to be
that's
just an
fine.
episode of, it'll be just about me. And then I have guests. And my
Mhm.
job, I'm probably a better talker than letting you talk. So I have to pull back some,
Right.
but be able to add my input where it's needed. Either it's going slow or I just have an interesting perspective on what they're saying,
Right.
that would enhance the conversation. So I also am responsible for getting the guests that are needed. I mean, there'll be some offered to me, but I have to find people, you know, to engage with around that their subject matter.
I understand.
Mhm.
What's the subject matter of the podcast?
Well, it's an addiction treatment program. And so my book expands the definition of what recovery is, meaning that it's more than therapy, 12-step meetings, and getting a sponsor. So it could be mountain climbing, beekeeping, parenting, artistic. Why is beekeeping a less important um, involvement than maybe going to talk to your sponsor about your. If I was a professional golfer and got into recovery and golf raised my self esteem, maybe I should spend time on the golf course in early recovery and less time at 12-step meetings.
Right.
Maybe I'm on the golf course with other people in recovery, but my whole idea about the podcast is I think people with drug problems that see recovery are turned off about what they see recovery is.
Hmm.
They don't see climbing Mount Kilimanjaro or fully developing yourself spiritually or running a marathon or maybe getting a degree or having a mouthful of teeth. All they do is those boring I got to do that every day. I got to write this stuff down and do all this homework. So for people who know what recovery is, okay, they get it. But
Yeah,
the
of
people who don't, which is the majority of people with addiction problems,
course.
don't see any, like, there's nothing fun about that.
Yes, if they knew about it, they would probably be doing
Right. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So that's the podcast. Other people have podcasts on people in recovery.
Hmm.
And I got to tell you, if I hear another person's story about they use drugs and now they don't, I'm going to, okay, you know what? There is a group of people who I think that's good for. I'm looking for that percentage of people that want this other thing.
Yes.
And so I'm not really even downing the people that have those podcasts about that. I
Mhm.
just want to grab onto the group that want this.
Right. That's basically finding the right niche for your podcast,
Yeah,
which makes perfect sense. And there probably are few podcasts in your niche, so there's going to be less competition.
right.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not going to be talking about the brain and how the brain is affected by drugs. Yeah. Let a doctor do that. I'm not a doctor. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Let's take a look at a point in time closer to the present.
Mhm.
So we were just talking about 6 months from now in May. Now, if we look at where you would need to be in the beginning of February, so that you would feel like you're in the right track, moving in the right direction, and in 3 more months would be where you just described to me. Can you
Um,
tell me about that?
in February, I would have between now and February, I
Mhm.
would have needed to do two presentations for professionals.
Mhm.
Um, I need to do two things with my book also.
Like what?
A book signing, a launching, or something like that.
Okay. Are you
So
planning?
I already got one set up for December. So I got to get one more done by February.
Excellent. So you're planning on launching the book in December, is that right?
No, it's already launched. My book came out in September.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Fantastic.
Listen, I've sold 300 copies on Amazon.
Good.
Um, I don't know,
Yeah, so that's a good launch.
mm.
You're planning on doing like a book signing in December?
And in December, I'm having a book signing. There's an event. There are people that are putting on a little dinner for me where I'll
Mhm.
sign the book, but it's small. It's 20 people.
Okay.
So I have to figure out with the podcast, I think I can do something with them around this. But
Mhm.
my first filming of the podcast is they're going to have me talk chapter by chapter about the book.
Right.
So yeah, I'm talking about integrity. I'm talking about perseverance. I'm talking about this stuff, which is also about me and what I do, to get people interested in me. On the side note, maybe people will buy my book. And once they buy the book or other people hear about it, oh, this would be good for our clients.
Exactly. And in order to buy your book, you would either send them to Amazon or maybe even send them to your own website. Do you have a site?
Mhm. You have a website, yeah. Mhm.
Is your book available on your site?
No, but I'm going to talk to the guy who manages my site to put it on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. And
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
do you think you will be able to do that?
He can do that next week because I had to cancel with him tomorrow because I'll be in Houston.
Mm.
So either Friday or next week when we meet up because I'm also doing the audio of my book. So
Right.
I'm recording the audio for an audio version.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. My
Mhm.
first book came out in 2008, and I
Mhm.
recorded my own audio.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What else would you need to do, or where else would you need to be on the journey 3 months from now, so that you would feel like you're on the right track and moving in the right direction, halfway to where you intend to be in May?
Well, I would need to have been consistent with what we're doing
Yeah.
and developed practices around it.
Okay.
Consistent practices. I think I can maintain my physical fitness and hobbies. I don't, necessarily need, you know, instruction on how to do that. I'm good at that. But my spiritual practice, my mental health, and my
Intimacy.
uh and intimacy and relate all of that stuff needs to be um noticeably improved.
Okay. So what would need to be changed in order to improve noticeably?
Well, I think I need to, I mean, I'm always telling people self accountability is the highest level of accountability. But before you get there, I probably need to be held accountable outside of myself
Mm.
to be consistent with. things. And there's a part of me that even when I say that, if I'm held accountable, will I be honest?
Well, I'm certainly capable of providing that accountability. So
Hmm.
if you would like me to, I would be delighted to provide accountability to you. And
Hmm.
if you are honest, well, that's going to be a lot more helpful compared to
Hmm.
if not being honest.
Right. And I think I can be honest because even in my book, I wrote about integrity.
Right.
And it's hard for me to write a book and put those words on paper
Mhm.
and not practice it.
Yeah, it would be very hypocritical.
Right. Although there's a part of me that I'm not 100, I don't have 100% integrity in my life. And maybe that expectation is too much anyway. Maybe there are people that can be 100% honest and have 100% integrity. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is at 100% because that means that there is no room for improvement. And I
Hmm.
think that even the top spiritual masters would never say, okay, I've reached the pinnacle of spiritual development. And there is no
Hmm.
room for improvement anymore.
Yeah.
I think anyone who proclaims that actually hasn't achieved it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, um, what kind of energy would you need to have in order to experience this type of significant improvements that you just talked to me about? Like from point of view of flying a wall, what would you describe?
Well, the energy, and I said the heart, but somewhere in the middle of my chest,
Mm,
I can feel the energy that gets me to the gym, gets me to yoga, gets me on the computer, gets me to make that phone call.
yeah.
Um, to be able to kind of have that at my disposal,
Mm,
to walk with that pretty regularly. And I don't see why I can't. I mean, I haven't, but I don't see why I can't have that feeling, 85, 90% of the day.
yeah, that's what I would call drive.
Yeah.
And this drive obviously is something that you can tap into. Obviously, you have already tapped into it. You wouldn't have written the book and done all the other wonderful things that you have done without it.
Hmm.
It's just, it may not be always at the fingertips.
Hmm.
So we'll be exploring how to have easier access to the proper energy resources.
Hmm.
Now, let's bring this even closer to the present time on this timeline. Where would you need to be a month and a half from now? So right around Christmas, right before you're leaving for Thailand and Indonesia, what would you need to, where would you need to be on your journey?
So, specific tasks that I would need to do at least two 24-hour fasts.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like to get two 24-hour fasts done.
Okay.
Um, November and December, I want to complete both of my climber challenges. There's one that's this month and there's one that's next month. I want to get them both done, which would mean that I have completed a challenge every month for the whole year, except for 1 month when I went away,
Okay.
and I wasn't able to do it. That I would have increased my friendships 10%, meaning I would have moved someone from the acquaintance phase to the friendship phase.
And this time
One or
of
two,
year is the good time of the year to do exactly that.
one or two people to do that. I can't make a promise. There's a part of me that says, "Oh, I should be sexually abstinent between now and then."
Hmm.
Um, and I can't, I would fall short of that, especially if I said that I was going to do that. So I have to kind of leave that alone. That maybe I should just practice a little more. I don't know if the word is discernment in
That's
who
a
I
good word.
engage with.
Yep, that's a
Um,
great word.
yeah. And let's see. Um, there also, I there's a part of me that wants to go on a spending fast,
Hmm,
that I don't want to spend any money on anything other than, like, say, food.
yeah. Okay.
For I don't know, 30 days, or even 2 weeks.
Sure. That's perfectly reasonable,
Hmm.
especially if you're gonna go fasting for food. Well, then it's gonna save you a lot of money.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, energetically, what would be the energy that you would need to have by the middle of December so that you would feel like you're on the right track and you are
I have the energy. It's I'm actually experiencing that energy now as we're speaking.
awesome?
Um, I knew if I talked to you and started engaging,
Mhm.
I could get it back.
Yeah.
Um, there's something about, I don't know that I've isolated, but some of my friends, I just cannot get my needs met through those relationships. My mental, spiritual energies, they're just not there. And
Hmm.
I'm not judging them. I do not have a lot of the right people in my life to give me what I need. I mean, you have to go through 1,000 people to find the two that'll give you what you need. Like,
Yeah.
so I practice this thing called talking to strangers,
Hmm. Nice.
because I don't know who I don't know.
Right.
And the only way to know them is, they got a nice dog. I'll bring up, oh, wow, what a nice dog, just to get a conversation going, to see what the energy is like.
Sure.
And, oh, what are you working on your computer that looks like,
Hmm.
I met an architecture the other day. I met this couple that had a dog like mine. We had a, nice conversation. I talked to this guy about these cocoa, this chocolate thing.
Okay.
So I have to find these people, because I cannot stay stuck with the people that I'm with. And I'm not blaming them. They just don't have what I need.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with the people that create the proper milieu is essential because I think you're probably familiar with the idea that the closest five people are the ones that basically create kind of like a composite image of who we are
Hmm.
in terms of level of success, level of influence, level of personal development, and many other aspects. So finding those people who you would like to uh, experience more similarities with
Hmm.
is essentially what we're talking about.
Hmm. Yeah.
Great.
Hmm.
Well, that's the social life aspect of our wheel of life.
Hmm.
If you could describe the energy that you would need to have at that point in the middle of December, what would you say the fly on the wall would need to see?
Me being consistent with the things that I said that I was going to do here. So if I am tasked to do an assignment around the podcast,
Mhm.
to get it done, and don't wait till the last minute. That if I have agreed to do something within myself, that I'm going to not spend any money other than food for the next 7 days, to be
Mhm.
able to do that. So it's that kind of energy, you want to call it drive, to be consistent. If
Or
I say I'm
discipline,
going to, huh?
or discipline.
Or discipline, if I'm going to do, I don't know, 7 workouts in a week, then I do 7 workouts in a week,
Fair enough.
you know?
Yeah. So I think that's discipline, that's consistency.
Hmm.
Infinitely easier to achieve that with some degree of accountability.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, even our best friends usually don't provide us the accountability that we need for many
No,
reasons.
they don't. They don't. I mean, they're and I hate to say it, they're fucking useless. Some of them,
Yeah,
in what I need.
yeah.
So yeah,
Often they don't have the skills, or they have their own agendas, or
right.
their lives are falling apart and they need help
Mhm.
instead of providing it to anyone. So that's totally understandable. Now let's bring this even closer to the present time. Where would you
Mhm.
be 3 weeks from now? 20, 21 days from now. So it's going to be the end of November, like right around Thanksgiving. Oh, where would you need to be around Thanksgiving so that you feel like you're on the right track, moving in the right direction? And then 3 more weeks will be where you need to be by Christmas.
I would have at least had one of these food fasts done.
Yeah.
So I should probably get that done in the next 7 days. Um, that I could probably do 7 days of spending. I could do food, spending, and sex, give 7 days for all of those, and not to say that I couldn't go to day 8, 9, 10, 11, but the minimum of seven.
Mhm.
And complete any task that I'm given to do with the podcast or my book recording, or I'm doing this YouTube channel,
Mhm.
anything related to that, that I get it done, that I don't put it off, because I don't watch television anymore. And
Right.
if I do, I'm just forcing myself to watch it. So I do have time to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So what stuff do you need to get done between now and Thanksgiving?
I got to get the YouTube thing straightened out, YouTube channel. I
Okay.
have to get my audio book done.
You'll
I
record
have
it.
to, you recorded.
Mhm.
I have to do 2 or 3 podcast filmings. I have to, I'm going to Houston tomorrow. I should bring a few books with me to maybe give out to some people,
Yeah.
just to promote my book. Um, I need to sell something in Houston about myself,
Oh,
that Houston is not going to be just me eating dinner with a bunch of treatment people and looking at their rehab, that I've got to get something out of it other than a free trip to Houston.
so what would you like to get out of it?
So I get a client out of it, another free trip to somebody else's facility, somebody interested in getting my books,
Mhm.
um, that I'm going to get something out of it. I'm just not going to be just a passive observer
Right.
to this thing that they're offering me. And that doesn't mean I can't get it from meeting somebody in the airport that has nothing to do with the trip.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So I recognize the energy of opportunism, and that's the wonderful uh, trait to have, especially in your line of work, being an author and a podcaster.
Mhm.
Uh, what energy would you need to have on your trip to Houston in order to achieve what you set out to achieve?
What energy would I need to have? I need to have the kind of energy that I have now. I also, somebody sent me a book about a guy who wrote a book, who's the head of the Connecticut Recovery Coach, blah, blah, blah. He's on the board of directors.
Okay.
And I read up to page 13, and I'm so inspired by the book. This is a guy who did 6 months and did the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, I did
Um, at,
Appalachian Trail too.
he did it at 5 years old. I mean, at 55 years old.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm going to bring his book on the plane, and I'm going to read the book. And I'm going to utilize that energy, that determination that he did it completely different than I would have done it. He planned it 4 years in advance. I never would have done 4 years. I would have done, 3 months in advance. But he
Right.
did it 4 years in advance. He trained for it for 4 years, and he finally did it.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm inspired by. When people can do stuff like that, I find it interesting. I don't want to do the Appalachian Trail only because of the winter part of it. But if it was like between 50 degrees and 80 degrees all the way through, I would do it. But I don't want to deal with any winter.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in that. And there's also something about me reading his book, which is going to support what I'm doing. And it also puts out the energy that people will read my book. If I read his book, people will read my book.
So,
Um, so that's the energy that I want to create. Um, I also am making it my business to be less negative because I know my negative brings on other people's negative, and I'm not going to be able to get what I want done because the I am my biggest problem. Nobody's out to get me. Everybody has their own agenda, so nobody's really out to get me. But when I think people are out to get me, I create that energy around protecting myself and being not trusting and this, that, and the other. And I need to trust that everything's going to be okay, and I don't have to do all of that stuff that I had done because as successful as I have been in life, I would be 40% more successful if I didn't engage in that negative kind of stuff
right.
that I create.
We met the enemy.
Yeah.
Enemy is us.
Hmm.
What would you think happened if you reached out to this guy in Connecticut who wrote the book that you're reading and said, I love your book. I would love to write a review for your book. Would you care to
Hmm.
write a review for mine?
Say that again.
Would you care to write the review for mine? And you would send him a copy of your book.
I could do that. I just have to make sure the guy's alive. I don't know if the guy's alive or not because somebody sent me the book. Um,
Okay.
so I mean, he wrote it. He was 55 when he did it, and I think he climbed it in 2015.
Okay, 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago.
So
Um,
he's still
and,
younger than you, man.
and he had a cancer
Speaking.
diagnosis, is why he even did it.
Uh,
He had some kind of cancer or something. So I'll
okay.
know at the end of the book if he made it. And if he made it, I will give him a call. Yeah. Because I know the guy who sent me the book knows him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I watched a movie about a couple of guys who hiked Appalachian Trail, which was kind of interesting. Um, I don't know if it's related to the book, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Hmm.
Uh, so that might be an excellent step for you as an author, and
Hmm.
also that may lead to booking him as a guest on your podcast. Um,
Hmm.
Getting potentially a review from an author of another book. And essentially, these type of connections are not hard to do, not hard to make. It's
Hmm.
just often people don't think about them.
Right. I never would have
So,
thought about that. Yeah.
but that's what I'm here for.
Hmm. Yeah. That's an obvious connection too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and as long as the guy is alive and kicking, I think that would be a great connection to make and potentially have him as a guest on your show.
Hmm. Yeah. And I'm from Connecticut. So,
Oh,
I
there you
mean,
go.
there's a
Whereabouts?
lot of different,
Whereabouts are you from in Connecticut?
I was born in New Haven, Connecticut. Yeah.
All
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Right on. Connecticut was the first state I ended up living in when I moved to the US
Oh
in
yeah. Where?
1995. I lived in the vicinity of Hartford.
Oh, I used to live in Windsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. There was a YMCA camp where they invited me to come and teach martial arts
Hmm.
called Camp Jewel in Colbert.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the first area of the United States that I got familiar with once I moved to the
Hmm.
US.
Yeah. Hmm.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
so as you can see, your work has got out for you. Are you going
Hmm.
to be traveling to Houston, coming back by next Tuesday?
No, no, I'm coming back on Thursday. I leave
Oh,
tomorrow and I come back Thursday night. Yeah.
all right. Well, so you will be back by next Tuesday.
Hmm. Yeah.
What else do you want to achieve between now and next Tuesday so that I would be able to provide accountability to you?
Um, no, I think that's enough.
All
So
right.
I'm going to make some kind of connection with somebody between now and the time I come back from Houston, either in Houston in the airport, at the rehab, or at lunch or at the gym somewhere.
Right on.
Um,
Yeah.
what else am I doing?
Bringing some books of yours
I'm going
to
to bring the books.
give away. Those are great business cards.
Hmm.
And often having a book to your name is
Hmm.
like having a PhD at the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's very strong statement that, look, I know what I'm talking about. I wrote a book about it.
Hmm.
And if you care to also sign the book to the person you're giving it to,
Hmm.
that will be even more powerful statement because signed books people are more likely to keep and read.
Hmm.
One thing that I always recommend to authors like yourself is to ask a person not just to read the book that you're giving to them, especially if you're signing it for them,
Hmm.
write a review.
Yes.
You never know which
Hmm.
review is going to be the stellar review that
Hmm.
will make a big difference.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes you collect the reviews and then you actually put one really good one on the back cover of the book.
Hmm.
Usually there is some space for that.
Yeah. Well, when I do my second edition, there are other things that I can do to the book that I
Yeah,
didn't do in the first.
of
Yeah.
course. And
Yeah.
the reviews
Mhm.
would be good
Yeah.
to include as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hmm.
that would be an excellent um, task for the week. I don't expect that you would be doing the fast between now and next Tuesday, but sometime this month you will do it, right?
Hmm. I
Okay.
could be, listen, I may do it on Saturday, you know, who knows? Yeah.
Okay. Well, no pressure,
Yep.
but I will
Hmm.
look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Do you have any questions about anything that we've covered today, the onboarding process, the
Nope.
exploration of anything? No?
Nope. So Tuesday at 1 o'clock,
Yes, sir.
and you'll send me the link.
It will be the same link, but I can send it to you.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Well, have a great trip to Houston,
All right.
and I'm sure that you will knock it out of the ballpark.
Yeah. Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.